Well, this is something I don't think anyone saw coming. Dodge Roll Games have now gone ahead and made a new game, another entry in the Gungeon universe, and it's made for a light gun arcade cabinet. Yes, this is their next game. I have no words for it. The game is called Enter the Gungeon, House of the Gundead, parodying an arcade title from the 90s called simply The House of the Dead. This game isn't being ported to any other systems as far as I'm aware. Then again, they haven't announced much, so we'll see. Unless some dark internet wizard rips and mods the game to be playable elsewhere, House of the Gundead will probably only be playable using the actual arcade machine, totaling $5,000. That's insane. Dodge Roll, in association with Griffin Aerotech, went ahead and made a banger follow-up to the most popular game that most people who love Gungeon will never be able to play. I don't know if there's anything I can say about this game. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to play it myself, though it is on my bucket list, unless I smooth talk the local arcade. Maybe there's like a tiny chance that I'll be able to get my hands on one of these if and only if they last long enough and aren't snapped up quickly by businesses and the like, but that's an extreme long shot. The game is set to release sometime in 2020, but pre-orders are open now, so panic ensues, I suppose. So until people actually get their hands on this cabinet, I'll see what I can glean from what we've been provided so far. The cabinet has 2 light guns attached, and purely from that we can presume that this game will have some sort of 2-player mode built in. In the Devolver Digital release trailer we get several clips of actual gameplay. I'll start with the guns. We only see the player using 2 different guns throughout the whole trailer. A shotgun with 4 bullets in its clip, and a revolver with 12. The website for the game boasts uniquely fantastic weapons, however, suggesting that the game will include a whole plethora of possible armaments for the player to equip and use. There's a very short clip where we see the player opening up a red chest with much more grandeur than in normal Gungeon. We don't actually see what comes out of the chest outside of a couple select frames. This appears to be the player actually acquiring the shotgun, but then again the actual image we get is so blurry we can't say for sure. The website also states that there will be insane power-ups, which will probably replace passive items, but we don't see anything like that in the footage provided. In the way of floors, we get to see rooms that clearly resemble the style of the Keep of the Leadlord, the Gungeon proper, and a couple cavernous rooms that almost look like the mines, though the mines tend to look a lot yellower. We have no clue towards any secret floors, but given that we've seen 3 normal floors already, the game's progression is probably going to mimic the floor progression of the actual Gungeon. What I'm saying is, it's probably going to get the Hollow in the Forge as well, they're just not showing it. What about the enemies? We see a range of enemies from regular Gungeon with no new faces or anything. Bulletkin firing single bullets like normal. Red Shotgunkin firing very loose and broken bullet spreads that doesn't at all mimic their behavior in the main game where their bullets are generally grouped quite close. They're attacking almost like Blue Shotgunkin minus the second shot that Blues are able to get off. Blue Shotgunkin, incidentally, don't make any appearance in the trailer. We get a few short clips of a gun nut in action, swinging their sword to create closer, more even bullet spreads, like the Red Shotgunkin should probably be doing. The only other foe we get to see in the game is a boss, the Beholster. We don't get to see how the Beholster actually behaves here, but I'm sure they have a bunch of different attacks, as per usual. There are a handful of other mechanics I'd like to mention. The footage clearly shows that certain rooms spawn containing red explosive barrels that you can shoot to explode and damage nearby enemies. We also get to see 2 tables in this clip, flipped over, providing cover to the enemies. I'd wager that these tables are only used by the enemies who can flip them after combat starts, just like in normal Gungeon. This clip here shows the 2 tables standing normally, showing that they definitely don't start pre-flipped. Player health appears up in the top left of the screen like in the main game. It's unclear whether there'll be an armor mechanic to supplement health, and there doesn't appear to be any blanks, keys, or money either. Every clip of player health shows them with 4 hearts instead of the normal 3. Since this is consistent across every clip, I don't think this is some item, I'd guess that you just start with 4 hearts. Probably the most important mechanic, avoiding attacks. We never see the player take damage in the whole trailer, so it's not actually very clear in what ways enemies actually pose a threat. They shoot, that's for certain, but their attacks always look like they're going wide towards the edges of the screen. We also see these arrow-shaped targets that the player can shoot. Shooting these targets appears to cause the screen to be filled with a Russian blue effect, the before fading back into the game. While this happens, all enemy bullets seem to be deleted. I'd say that this is the dodge mechanic. Choose the right direction to dodge it to evade the bullets. These targets usually appear on the left and right, but in the case of this gun nuts attack, they appear at the top and bottom. Going through the footage, it makes me wonder if the direction even matters. Here, for example, the Bulletkin's bullet is heading right, and so they dodge left and avoid damage. But here, the Bulletkin is shooting right and they dodge right and still avoid the hit. Same with that gun nut, the bullets are going up and dodging up avoids them. Do you have to dodge away from the bullets or match their direction? Either case doesn't really seem to ring true, as this red shotgunkin's attack sends bullets spraying everywhere, up, left, etc., and yet a simple dodge to the right has it dealt with. The final thing I noticed in the footage is that enemies occasionally turn red, most noticeable in this animation from the gun nut. It took me a while to figure out what this was, but I think that enemies simply turn red while charging up their attacks in order to aid the player's ability to counteract them. Here we see a Bulletkin turning red before shooting, a Shotgunkin doing the same thing, and like I said, a gun nut charging up while holding their sword aloft. There is an exception to this rule, however. Sometimes when spawning, we see Shotgunkin insta-shooting spreads of magenta bullets instead of their normal attacks. These shots don't seem to actually do anything, and the player doesn't bother to dodge them, so what are they? They're non-telegraphed insta-shoot attacks that do nothing. Is it a bug? Why even have them? The last thing of note doesn't come from the footage, but from the website. When it boasts about its fantastic weapons and insane power-ups, it also mentions hidden secrets, as opposed to open, neon-painted secrets, I guess. Does this mean secret rooms, floors, power-ups, or items? Who's to say? I just thought it was worth mentioning. So yeah, that's that. I really hope I get to play it someday, but I'm not holding my breath, you know? It'll be interesting to see what comes out surrounding this game, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get an official port someday. Rather than just obsessing over this, though, I think it's best if I start looking forward again. This is just one project of multiple, Dave has said that himself. It's just an interesting chapter in dodge roll history. This video was edited by the fantastic Thomas the Bullet. He's been helping me out as of late, so check him out if you have the time. Anyways, I've got to go systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of my house. See ya!